Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'll show you a little project we're working on today for the third gen Camaro. We've got a rear spoiler on and we finished that up, which looks amazing. I really like the way this turned out. I feel good about the form and look of it. Went ahead and put our last couple of bolts in there so it's fully on and kind of tucked away there, ready for us to start the finish work on it. And then I started up here drilling the holes for our hood blisters, and you can see I've already started that. So underneath this hood, this factory RS hood, if I can get it open, it has, I don't know if you can see it, maybe you can, it already has kind of the orientation of these hood blisters built into the hood, and it had the positioning for the holes already there for the front two holes anyway, and this is the correct location for the hood blisters. The thing about this is a flat RS hood is not supposed to accept factory hood blisters. I didn't know that. So, lesson to me, right? So, I went ahead and drilled the holes, you know, got them perfectly centered, did the thing, tried to put my hood blister on, and we had a problem. You see, the problem is these hood blisters are designed to sit down into a little cup that's built into those factory hoods, and the mounting positions for these bolts that go through are, as you can see, if you lay this kind of flat, they stick up above the ridge or the flat area of the blister. That's a major problem because you put these on to bolt them down and you're going to have a gap on your hood, right? You had to decide, are we going to get a different hood? Are we going to get a different blister? Hawk's Performance makes a hood blister for flat hoods. They're like 130 bucks, 150 bucks, something like that. Pretty good deal. But I had already purchased these, which are factory hood blisters in perfect condition. I've been scouting them for really weeks on eBay to find the right set. I figured, what the heck? Let's just make them work. And they'll be factory. I think they'll end up looking better. And I'll just custom. Everything's custom around here anyway, so that's what we decided to do. So what I did is I cut all these tabs off of this one, as you can see. These mounting blocks is what I'll call them. Cut them all off, and then I cut them down, resized them to fit the height I needed, so this would now fit flush. Let's see if I can show you that. So when these sit down on there, you can see, nice and flush. A couple things happen when you do that. Number one, you have to take a good bit of meat out of this portion right here. Same thing. I haven't touched this one. This is still a factory. And you can see that section sits up pretty tall. So it's not a bad thing because I was already going to cut those out regardless and put in a functioning vent here. And that was in my plans. So we're going to do that anyway. So it's not that big a deal to have to cut all that off. But when you do, you're left with this section. Alright, long story shorter. We have to make a vent for this. Now, I've seen some online where you can order them. A couple of guys out there make them, and you can buy these different sets that fit in here. The problem with those sets is they're made to fit here. So what you would do is you'd pull this little metal like foil, which is, you know, the fake vent, if you will. You'd pull that out. You would drill or cut out that area that's right here, and then you would place those new mesh grills inside here, and they bolt in or glue in or whatever. Well, I couldn't really do that because that whole piece is missing off the back. So I've been messing around with some 3D printing. So what I do is I get on my 3D printer, I get on Fusion 360, and I learned how to use Fusion 360 kind of on the fly, but I figured out how to make my own vents, and that's what we did. So I won't get into the process of how to do that, but if you want to, if you feel like it's something you want to do, there's a lot of good YouTube tutorials on how to do Fusion 360. So this is almost the exact and perfect dimensions of the old vent, which is great. So this has functioning holes in it. This is just a test piece, so it's made of material that's not final. It's kind of flimsy and won't hold up to the weather. So I'll have to reprint it final on ABS plastic. But as you can see, this fits nicely onto our hood vent. It's a lot of work, but I think it's going to pay off. These are the little details that a lot of people won't notice when you're walking around the car when it's done. You'll look at it, it'll look like it was factory. And but there'll be some of you guys that say, wait a second, how did he get GM hood blisters on a flat hood? Well, this is how you do it. And then, hey, this is a functioning hood scoop. That's pretty cool. That's the kind of stuff that that I like to do. The little subtleties that make something unique. So we're getting close. Here, I'll show you where we are. Slide this one on, and you can see how well this is going to work out. There we are. And you can see she sits nice and flat. And that's what we were going for. So really, once I finished the vent inserts and get that kind of organized on how I'm going to adhese them on, this is ready to paint. And at that point, the only thing left bodywork wise on the car is for me to sand it and see what little imperfections we need to correct before we actually paint the car. Well, let's see what else I can show you on this video. I love these old 16-inch Z28 wheels on these cars. I think they look fantastic. I'm going to take these somewhere, have them cleaned up, may even have them refinished for just a driver set of wheels and tires. But what I did find are these. Because the car is going to go to autocross. It is going to do some track events. And I needed a set of wheels that I felt looked better for the car. And you know what? I really, really like Z06 wheels on the 3rd gen. So I know it's dark in here, but we picked up a set of the GM, original GM Speedline polished wheels for Z06 wheels. So these have got a 295 rear, so plenty of meat, and I think a 275 rear tire. Nitto, these are NTO 5s. Not sure what these are, but they're a track base, so, you know, a lot more softer compound race tire. And yeah, so that's up there too. Oh yeah, and I also picked up a set of Z06 seats. I don't know if these are going to fit in the car. I'm not sure. I thought, why not? We're going to try it. I do like these seats. They're a lot better bolstering than the factory Camaro seats. I kind of like the styling. I'm thinking about having them recovered without the Z06 emblem in there. Just have them nice and fresh and new. And, you know, something different. May or may not do that depending on how easily those go into the car. Also, why don't we do this together? Got some new... I think it's probably really close to my face. Got some new parts in that came in today from Founders Performance. Those guys out in California. They make some pretty amazing 3rd gen parts. So thank you guys at Founders. They're not sponsors of the channel. I purchase all the stuff. It's, you know, maybe one day someone will support me in that way. But I do like to support guys that have good quality products and make good stuff. So these guys make awesome stuff. And they should have sent paper. A lot of paper. A whole lot of paper. Oh, here we go. Now we're talking. Alright, so obviously we got some Coney shocks in here. So we went with the fully adjustable front and rear shocks from Coney. That's probably the rear. Some mounting hardware. We did the Founders Performance. These are going to be the rear. Or these are the front struts here. It's hard to do with one hand. Tell you what. I'm going to set this up and we'll come back over here. and you can see what's going on. So we got the Founders Performance Panhard bar kit, adjustable, dual adjustable, so we can adjust it while it's on the car with no issues. Panhard bar, and the lower control arm kit. So this is a fully adjustable, a nice big, hardy, thick heim joints. It's very stiff, very well constructed parts from these guys. And pretty affordable too. Like, there's obviously tons of different suppliers out there for lower control arms, Panhard bars, and a lot of really good suppliers of these things. I've just heard good things about Founders. We're gonna give them a try. I think this is pretty quality stuff. I like the look and feel of it. Of course, the Coney shocks. I won't go too depth of this. You guys have seen shocks and struts before. So fully adjustable gas. So yeah, I think you have to pull the sleeve off, and then you clock it to make your adjustment. So anyway, super cool, good stuff here for the suspension. This is going to make a huge difference in the way the car feels and handles. Everything I've read, everything I know about these cars is this is the meat and potatoes for handling for a 3rd gen.